All right, so we back. Yo, once again, it's the Binge Hunters Podcast with your boy, Peter the Guy.
And Mo, back in the Attic Studios. What's up, everybody?
Yo, Mo sounds super whack. I don't know if we're going to stick with that. We should do something else.
Why are you such a hater, man?
I don't know, man. Yo, Mo sounds whack already. It's like, yo.
We in the Attic Studios. What you mean?
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
All right, it's the man Mo. That's what we talk about.
All right. Just the man Mo, then. Just the man Mo.
Nah, we're going to call you something else. But in the meantime, we're just going to say Mo.
All right, fine. For a little bit. Then we change it to another nickname.
All right. That's fine. I'll work on it. So here we are again in the lab, the Attic Studios. Once again, another one.
Yo, another one. What we reviewing today, Peter?
So today we're gonna talk about this show on Hulu called Taboo.
Woo!
You heard about it?
It sounds a little dirty. Sounds like a little dirty film.
It's something a lot of people don't talk about. Taboo stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a great show. You definitely put me on this one. All you gotta do is watch the first episode, really, and you're like, all right, this is a journey.
Yes. You have so many questions.
You have so many questions.
What? Where's this man been? Where is he going? Let's go. Obviously, it helps that, for everybody out there, Tom Hardy is like the lead actor. So.
Oh yeah, no, Tom Hardy kind of carries the show. In the beginning, you're like, yo, I don't know nothing. I don't know nobody. I know Tom Hardy, and I know he's safe, so I will be wherever he goes.
You feel a little safe?
Oh, yeah, I feel safer already. With Tom Hardy, yo, I'll go anywhere.
He was a mean mofo. I'm not going to lie. Even though a lot of times he was just grunting, he was just going,
Yo, the man, kills this role. I feel like we don't give him enough flowers, but that man is a great actor.
Hell yeah. Did you see him in Venom?
We don't talk about that one. That one's not that good, But he kills it in like Inception, Inception. Oh, that's a great role.
He did really well in that one.
He has definitely a lot of good shows.
Yeah.
Especially this one,
Yeah.
Taboo, which is what would you say this is?
I would say like as far as like the genre.
Yeah. What type of?
I think it's a drama action. That's how I would call it. I would classify it as that, to be honest, because like it's just very realistic, you know what I mean? And it's more like drama between characters, between people, and then obviously we get some really good scenes as far as the fighting goes, and certain gory scenes between characters.
Oh yeah, this man is beating everybody up. He doesn't care.
He doesn't beat everybody up. That man gets beat up too, though.
Yes, he does take a lot of ass, beatings for as many as he gives out. So he doesn't go unscathed. Which is good, right? By the end of it, he's like super beat up,
Because you just like, wow, this guy's a hard mofo.
I wonder if he actually got, some of those injuries.
You have to, man. Well, I'm not gonna. Look, they're probably not hitting them with full force, but I'm sure they're like at least hitting them lightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when they beat him up like towards the end, and they completely beat him up, I was like kind of feeling bad for
when they're torturing him.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way. But let's not get into the spoilers yet.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What's your first impressions? What you think about it?
Man, it was so good. My first impressions were like a little bit weird, right? Because it's like set in London back in the day, like the 19th century, and you're really confused about what's going on, right? But you obviously you can tell there's this guy, Tom Hardy, who's John Delaney, coming back to London. He's been gone for quite some time, and the death of a close family member brings him back, and he's just a very like elusive character already, right? He's an enigma. There's kind of mystery to him, and all these people are so shocked that he's back, right? And so you're just like, oh shit, who's this guy? Like, who is this guy? Everybody's already like, freaking out. So it's really cool to see like him come back, right? And then you get like a little bit of the ambiance already of what's going on. A lot of people don't fuck with him. He's obviously trying to figure out what happened to the loved one that he lost. And then after that, you know what I'm saying? It kind of gives you that little like that Peaky Blinders like London old school feel. You know what I mean? It has that certain style to it. So, first impression, it's really good. You know what I mean? It really entices you to figure out what's going on.
No, yes. The first episode kind of sells you. Be like, yo, I gotta know who this guy is. Where he comes from, what he's done. Why is everybody so interested in him? it looks like this man is a ghost, but he's also like the most important man in the world because everybody wants to know where he's been, how he got so much money.
Yeah.
Where he's been this whole time. People considered him like dead. They were about to get like, well, there's a person that dies, right? And he's supposed to like get some of his goods because that was his dad. His dad died, so he's supposed to receive, his inheritance. But
Yes.
since he was assumed dead, they were gonna pass along the, I guess, inheritance.
Yes.
But since he comes back, he basically gets everything, and he's just a badass. Like he is he a good guy?
I don't know, man. I'm in the middle, right? Because
Is this like a traditional story, like a guy that comes back for revenge? What type of story do you consider this
I
to be?
wouldn't say revenge, but definitely with a goal, right? Definitely with a goal in mind. I think we can't even answer that even after watching the entire show, to be honest. But
yeah, I don't know if he's a good guy in the end, really.
yeah, no, I don't think he's a good guy at all, and I think he realizes that. You know what I mean? Like he understands that, but again, we don't want to give too many spoilers before we go too deep into it. But I would say he's somewhere in the middle, man. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you gotta do bad things to do good things, but at the same time, you know what I mean? That's bad. But his environment isn't a good environment either. It's kind of cutthroat.
I mean, true. He did go through a lot to end up where he was, and him coming back to this land that kind of gave him so much trouble and was not kind to him makes him go crazy.
Yes.
Of course, he is looking for some type of revenge, if you will, for the people that wronged him when he was a young boy. But there is a little bit of mystique. There is some witchcraft. There is a bunch of, I guess, conflict love. There is a bunch of things that don't really get talked about in society that are still in the show, and that's why it's called Taboo, because this show addresses a lot of taboo things within the story.
Yeah, and I think it's the biggest one. You know what I mean? Like as soon as he comes back, he's already looking at his sister. You know what I mean? Like, so again, man, the guy's got a goal in mind. He's trying to get there by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who you have to go through. It doesn't matter who you have to use. If you on my team, we getting there one way or another.
Yeah, it looks like this man is in love with his sister, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to get her.
Yo, whatever it takes.
And by he is willing to do whatever.
Yes.
Yo, this man is really about it. So I respect that. Love is love. What you want me to do?
Yeah.
So even I guess, when is this taking place? Like, what? Where's the setting? Is this?
It's in London.
In the 1800s?
Nah,
1700s.
I think it's more so a little bit. Actually, yeah, you might be right. Actually, it might be. Let me look that up real quick.
Well, it looks like slavery is starting to look frowned upon.
1812. Yeah.
So it's in the 1800s, like early 1800s. So
yeah, actually that's silly. Yeah, because America, the United States, is just barely like becoming its own thing too.
Yes, but
So
there's still like
1812.
a little bit of slavery in here. There's still some incest, some witchcraft, some beginning stages of government. There's still royalty. There's a bunch of things that are still within society, and then there's this one guy that comes to mix everything up, right?
Yes.
So Tom Hardy, what's his name in the show?
James Delaney.
Mr. Delaney. He comes in and he's here for revenge, and he wants his land, he wants his woman, and he also wants to kick everybody's butt. So I can definitely recommend this show. What is it on, by the way? The Hulu, right?
Yes, it's on Hulu.
Yes.
You can watch it on Hulu.
So yeah, for any of those people that are interested in finding a good show to watch and want to have a good time, want to learn some things, also just wants to see Tom Hardy in action.
Hell yeah.
What is this again?
Taboo.
Yes,
on
that's
Hulu.
right. Yo, I already forgot, but no, Taboo
what?
on Hulu.
Yes. So, what would you rate it though?
What would I rate it?
I'll
say 8.5. 8.5
Yeah.
out of 10. Great show. not enough sex like I like it to, but still, good eye candy.
There's a couple scenes in there.
Yeah, I know. Like, no, like at first, you know me. I guess I like women too much, and this one doesn't have, a main woman role.
You talking about there was no girl that was your type, basically?
Yeah. Unfortunately, on this one, I wasn't really sold on no woman, right? And that's what kind of gets me on some shows.
What about the curly-haired blonde girl?
So let me tell you.
Looking at
No, look, let me tell you, right? So I wasn't really sold on this. I was like, all right, they don't have no lead role that I can really focus on, However, the sister,
she's kind of cute.
She came around, man. It's like at the beginning, I was like, you know what? She's not even that, that bad. Why is this man so crazy over her, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's one of those things where you want what you can't have, and they kind of came around, and I was like, dang, she's not even that good looking, but the way that she, hated him, and then the way that she didn't want to,
you were
nothing
there,
with him.
You were there for that toxicity,
so
huh?
I guess I am attracted to toxicity, and that's what in the end I felt like this woman brought me over, and now I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what was her name?
Zelphia.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yeah, I became a fan of hers, and the story all around is super complex. It deals with so many things. You really have to pay attention to what you following on, because either you following his story or I guess the tragedy story. Who killed his dad?
Yeah.
Where does he come from? The Africa story. There's like 6 stories all in one.
Yeah.
That get all addressed, and they all have their side plots and everything.
Yes.
It's a great show, but you do have to be very attentive to it, because these are not the type of shows that you put on the background and you can either clean your house or do something else, or do some work. These you have to sit down and watch, which are still very interesting and great, and you get a lot of context if you do. That's probably why I wouldn't rate it as high as I usually would, because you do have to pay a lot of attention.
Yeah, I'll agree on you with that, because there's like small details where like it's just him like doing something or like looking at something, and it just has so much symbolism and foreshadowing already in it. So there's no way you could just put it in the background and not paying attention to what's going on.
There's like a scene where he doesn't even say anything. He just goes and he visits some person.
Yeah.
And if you don't notice what he's doing, you completely miss it.
Exactly.
Like, he doesn't do anything other than go watch this person.
Yeah. But that's great within itself, man. I mean, come on, man. Like to show its artistic value and symbolism in such a manner. I mean, I look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I like your rating. I would rate it a little bit higher. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Just because I loved the ambiance, the lore, the way it carried itself, all the characters, the journey. But yes, I will agree with you that if you're not paying attention, of course you're gonna get a little lost.
You will get very lost very quick if you're not at all looking at the show.
Yeah.
And like I said, since there is no really girl eye candy, you will get distracted with something else.
Is that what's affecting the score a little bit?
Unfortunately, I am a little problematic with that. And since there wasn't a lot of eye candy, I did get lost. I had to slow down on some scenes,
what
back,
about
rewind
Miss
them.
Delaney? The one that married his dad. She was cute.
You know what?
She was red-haired too. That's right up your alleyway.
I know, but she seems like more of your type, and that's why I was like, nah, I can't even do it. That's like, that's most girls.
a little too pale for you, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately. And it was in the 17 something, so it's like they didn't even show no skin at all. Like, we saw some ankles here and there, but there was no skin at all. Like, we saw
they had to wear long dresses back then.
We saw Mr. Delaney's butt at least 6 or 7 times, but we never got to see no girls.
Yo, we did see Tom Hardy's ass a whole lot, bro.
I know, but I guess it's an FX show, so
no. FX put it here, but it's originally a BBC show.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was on FX, so therefore they had to censor a little bit in the show.
It was BBC. I'm sure maybe they censored some things here, maybe, but it is a BBC original. So when By the way, everybody, we don't have a season 2 yet, but whenever season 2 comes out, it'll air on BBC before it comes here.
I got you. Do you know anything about season 2? Is it coming?
So they said they were like at the end of 2018, early 2019, they were like, yo, season 2 for sure, let's go. But obviously Tom Hardy is a hard commodity, you know what I'm saying? Well-known actor.
Oh yeah.
So he's been real busy with a few films, and then the director that directed this also directed Peaky Blinders, and is also a well-known director. So he's been directing other things as well. So I think it's just a bunch of conflicting schedules, and they said that they were gonna try to start filming late 2019, early 2020. So we'll find out maybe later this year a little bit more news about season 2. But they did say that we were going to get for sure a season 2.
I got you. Okay. All right. So Taboo on Hulu. So this is the Binge Hunters Podcast.
Go check it out, everybody.
You gotta go check it out. So that's that for that. Let us
move into reviewing this bad boy. Let's go. Swoop.
Yo, it's the Binge Hunters Podcast, and we back, baby.
What it do, baby?
Yo, what you think of that intro?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I got this nigga with the blinky out right now.
That's what I said. Yo, it's on site.
Yo, let me find you out here slipping real quick.
Yo, anytime, anywhere.
Yo, it don't matter. It could be in the Walmart parking lot. It could be in the Earthwear parking lot. Let's get it.
All right, settle down.
A little too gangster.
Yeah. So Taboo, man. What's your first?
Yo, that shit was fire, man. Go check that shit out. Yo, I like that shit. It was good, man. I loved it, man. You didn't like it? Tom Hardy's a great actor, man.
I mean, I was a little hesitant at first. You was like, "Hey, we got to check this one out," and I started it. And yeah, you watch the first episode, and it gets you interested enough where you're like,
I bet the first 20 minutes you were still questioning it. You were still like, yo, this shit looks a little sketch.
I was questioning the whole time. I was like, this is dumb. We are gonna focus on something else.
Yeah.
But no, you see the first episode, you're like, you kind of get interested on where this guy is coming from and why does so many people care, and what he's been through. He looks like he's been through hell already, and he's about to go through some more. So you're like interested on learning where he comes from, and also learning where he's gonna go through all the people that are so interested on either getting rid of him or finding out where he's been.
Yo, and it's just the way he carries himself, bro. Like decked out, all black, baby. Got the tats, you know what I'm saying? Got the scars. Looks like he's been through some shit. You're like, yo, that guy right there, I ain't fucking with that guy.
Oh yeah, no, he looks intimidating from day one. Everybody's like, oh, he's a ghost. Oh, he must be like some crazy witcher, or like he's he's African.
Yo, relax.
That's what they call him. They call him African because he comes from Africa.
They do call him an African, yes. Even though he's not, which is kind of fucking weird.
And there's people in the show that even address him as a N-word because he was seen and he used to, I guess, mess with slaves.
Yes, but I think it's not only because of that. Because remember his mom is kind of indigenous.
Oh yeah, his mom was also like from a indigenous background. Yes. Like she was indigenous, like she was from a tribe or something.
that nuked the island clan or whatever, where she apparently the dad got her through a deal.
Yo, shout out to Mo's Notes.
Yo, the homework coming in clutch.
Yo, shout out to the interns. So we learned that he comes from, I guess, indigenous backgrounds, and he knows, or he's related by blood to like some type of tribe. And when he is in Africa, they either find him or he gets involved with somebody of that same tribe.
And we don't know that. Which, by the way, I hope, like, if we do get a season 2, I hope that they address that. Because, to be honest, that's one of my biggest pet peeves about the show, is that we don't get to see any of his adventures and experiences in Africa, and we don't get to see any of his experiences and adventures in the East India Company, and we don't get to see any of, other than the one scene, and we don't get to see any of the experiences and adventures as kids with the sister. But that's just my
we
opinion.
don't see no background at all. We only see present day. We do hear about some things that happened back in the day, but we don't really see any, I guess, what is it called? Back scenes.
You're talking. That's so silly. You're talking about when dude, what are they called?
Yeah, I know. I have it in the tip of my tongue. I forgot.
Man,
yeah,
it's when you need it the most, right? I can't even pull that shit out.
Oh man. Well, I guess. Scenes where they go back in time about what he's
this is so
what he's
silly,
like.
bro.
I know, I totally forgot.
Yo, we are terrible.
You got some drugs, man.
Yo, what? What drugs? I don't know what you talking about, bro. I'm a good kid out here just chilling.
But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You need some type of background information on them. And how they became to love each other,
Yeah.
him and his sister, because I feel like that's his whole motivation is his sister. Yes. Like he does half of these things that he, does, or basically everything that he does in order to get her back. He's trying to make the India company pay for what they did, but also make sure that they're, helping him.
Yeah, because he's on a mission, right? Because he's like, yo, my dad, he's gone, and I'm trying to figure this shit out. Who did this shit to him, right? So when you see the whole story as a whole, he could have gone there, got his sister, and taken her home, but that wasn't enough for him. You know what I mean? He was like, yo, it's on site as soon as I figure out who killed my dad, and then I'm gonna take my sister and we going the fuck home.
Yeah. He was worried about those three things. Is one, found where his sister was, then where who killed his dad, and then getting the East India Company to pay for the slave tragedy.
Yes.
But the show starts with, I guess, Mr. Tom Hardy just coming back from Africa, right? And he gets into he goes and sees the body of his dad.
Yes, because he's like, yo, I need to know how this man died.
Yes.
And he pays a little, I guess a medical doctor of some sort to run some tests on his dad to see if any, let's just say, accidents happened.
Yeah, and he finds out that, yes, he was poisoned, in fact.
Yes. What type of poison? Pop quiz?
Arsenic.
Yeah. Peter gets an A.
Yo, I was paying attention, man. I had my note and paper out because this story was confusing.
There was a lot of shit going on. I'm not too many people involved.
You had to know how he died, and you find out that it was arsenic. And then you get introduced to, his dad is dead, but they also believe in witchcraft, where there's you have to pay a little extra, or else they come back.
Yes.
Or people that are using bodies for witchcraft stuff, they sometimes dig out people.
Are you saying when he started seeing ghosts, or when he?
No. The first thing they I think they talk his sister and his husband, or her husband. They talk about, hey, did you pay the...
Yeah, to dig the hole a lot deeper.
Yeah, because, they were from a certain faith where they can, they come back if for some reason...
you or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they paint this picture of, they believe in witchcraft and some of these other taboo things.
Demons and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which I think they're Catholic, basically.
I don't think we're really told what religion.
I think so because.
Well, yeah, back in the day, there's probably
I think only really Catholics believe in exorcisms, right? Because I don't think.
No, yeah,
there's
Christians that do exorcisms.
Yeah, Methodist or
I just think that back then there was not that many religions, so I think Catholicism was one of the stronger ones.
Oh yeah, but remember where we're at. Well, it's tough. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I digress.
It doesn't even matter.
Well, because remember, Queen Elizabeth has her own, the Church of England has its own church apart from the Catholic Church. You know what I mean? But whatever. I digress.
Oh, yeah? What's it called?
The Church of England. It's called the Church of England. They got the same Catholic principles, but it was because one of the Tudors, remember, he couldn't get a divorce. In the Catholic religion, you can't get a divorce. And he was like, you know what? Fuck fuck that. I'm making my own religion and I'm getting a divorce because I'm dating all the princesses out here.
You know what?
Then he was able to divorce his wife.
Shout out to you, man. Shout out to that religious studies degree that you have, because I
relax.
have no idea what he's talking about. I have no idea what he's talking about. So shout out to you. Shout out to you.
Just a fun little fact. Whatever.
Yeah. You know, that was the fact of the day. But yeah, keep that to yourself.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so we learned that there's people out there, they believe in witchcraft, they believe in resurrection, and they believe that Mr. Delaney's son, which is called, his name is James, right?
Yes.
He has come back from the dead.
Yes.
And he's here to collect, whatever is left for
retribution
from his dad's legacy, right? So, he starts, building up his empire from scratch, or from whatever is left from his dad's empire.
Yep.
So he goes and he starts cleaning house. He gets to his offices and he starts cleaning them out. They were like being used by like some whores.
It was like a brothel, basically.
Yeah, it was being used as a brothel for like some long time, and nobody has seen.
She was like, "Yo, what you doing, bro? I can hook you up."
Exactly.
And he was like, "Yo, this is my office, man.
I am
what
the
fuck
owner.
you mean?"
I am the owner. So yeah, he starts cleaning up house. He also buys a ship. He's trying to basically come back. Like,
dude, can we talk about that scene though when he's in the ship and he finds out when he buys the ship, he finds out like what the ship was used for.
Yeah, I think he already knew. Like,
yeah, he had a feeling. Like, but it was still like, man, there was so much like artistic symbolism to that scene. Like, cause like they took their time to like, you know what I mean? Like, do the scene, see him like, carve out the chains, and that it was used as a slave ship. The little rocks used, basically. Like, I don't know, man. I was in my feelings. I was like, damn, bro.
Well, yeah, we throughout the story, or at least in the beginning part of it, you start to see, what side he's on. He hates slavery, right? He doesn't. He doesn't agree to it. He also wants to make rights for anybody that's been done wrong for slavery, right? So he removes all the shackles and all the chains and everything from.
Which can we talk about that? The growth, man. Like, all right, because he's done a lot of bad shit, right?
He has, yes.
And then he realizes this, and he kind of pays his respect, right? Because he cleans it up. He puts like the signa of the tribe. And
he wears it. Like,
and he wears it, and you can tell he feels some type of way about it. But you find out that he was the one that helped a horrific event.
Relax.
All right, I'm just saying.
We're walking. You're already at the end. We're at the end. But no, look, listen. Yes, this man is totally against slavery, and he doesn't want it, and he wants to make amends for all the things that were done wrong.
Yeah.
One thing to note, at the beginning, like in the beginning of the series, you see him getting haunted by like this slave, like this big old black dude.
Which that scene was good too.
And I thought that was gonna go somewhere. I thought that man was like a ghost that was gonna follow him
like
around
the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time I was like, this man is probably like. He sold his soul to like the devil or something, and then that's how he came back from like this wreck. And this is like the devil, like the devil's incarnation. He comes back as that one slave. So every time he messes up or he does something, I thought he was going to be in the background.
Yeah.
But no, that scene was only like in the beginning, and they kind of forget about that. Like he's no longer haunted by like no ghosts or nothing.
But I think he addresses it there, right? Like I think it's like.
He goes close, and he talks to them.
Yeah, he gets close to
He's
this
like, hey, I'm going to
death.
take care of it. Stop, bothering me.
Yes.
That's what he says.
Yes.
And then they go away throughout the whole series, and you don't see Ghost at all.
Yes, because he's like, I have work to do.
Exactly. I thought it was going to, like, the ghosts were going to be in the background the whole time, where, like, if he messes up, like, the ghosts would, like, either torture him or they would do something to him.
They're basically on site, like, yo, I thought you said you were going to take care of it, bro.
Exactly. So if for some reason he, like, gets off the mission that he's on, the ghosts would kind of bring him back. Yeah. But they kind of just went away from that. I thought that had some type of impact on the story at the beginning, and I was really interested by it. But then they went away from it.
Yeah, but I think I'm okay with it because, dude, he's just like.
Well, the story was super complicated to begin with. This was just like another layer, and I don't think we needed it. But
the entire time, it was interesting. But the entire time, he's an all black. He's basically always riding on a pale horse. Like he is like, if somebody comes at him, he just. Like when he kills him, he kills him. Like he guts him. Like he is the embodiment of death. And I was okay with it because it's kind of like he's familiar with death. Like it's okay. Like he wears it around him like a necklace. You know what I mean? But that's just me.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess he's like what's that guy's name from
Which one?
from the Marvel universe, the Ghost Rider, right?
Oh yeah,
The Ghost Rider.
yeah.
He's like, yo, I'm here to take your soul.
Yeah, make you pay.
Yeah. But no, this man is I guess he's troubled by his past and the things that he's done in the past, and that's why he's very adamant of everything that he believes on. I thought another thing that was interesting that they kind of went away from at least in the beginning, as they start, I guess, explaining how he knows about everything, how he knows, that his father was sick and everything. It looks like his father used some of the witchcraft as well, or I guess magic or whatever they had at the time, to communicate them through fire. Like they would talk through fire, and he never uses it. Like he only uses it once. Like if that was like the phones for like witch people.
But you see it subtly though, because like he does it with his sister, where he like visits her in her dreams, right?
Oh, he doesn't visit her. That's rape.
He's doing a whole lot. But then the chemist doctor, him too. Like whenever little Robert comes and finds him and gives him a letter, he's like, "How'd you know where I was at?" Does he see me through his dreams? Like he talks about that several times. Like people like him visiting you through his dreams. So maybe it is just part of the witchcraft, and he's just able to like subtly visit you, and it's just some kind of power thing that like seventh sense that he's like gained basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was mostly
or sixth sense
trained. Like when he was in Africa, probably like the tribe that picked him up kind of showed him all these things.
They just gave him the ropes,
and
they just, witchcraft 101.
Yeah, they gave him some classes.
This is how you call your dad.
They gave him religious studies 305, and he learned it. He knows how to communicate through fire.
Oh my goodness.
And here we are. So yeah, there's a bunch of things that he knows in the witchcraft world.
But isn't that good?
They're only addressed at the beginning of the show, and he definitely could have used them throughout the entire series.
He could have, Peter. Yes, but doesn't that make it a little more unrealistic, right? Like the mysteriousness around witchcraft, what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of, you know what I mean? It makes it more elusive, right? Like it's like you're grasping at it, but you're not, because you don't understand it. I don't know. I thought it was okay that they didn't go into it, because then they would have to explain all these other things.
No, you're right. I guess so. I guess they were just there to introduce the fact that there's witchcraft happening, but never really too reliant on it. Like it didn't rely just solely on that.
Yeah.
So okay, we digress. We'll leave that there. Another thing that is important, I guess, that we can talk about as we discuss this story, is the love with his sister. He completely loves her. Like he's sickly in love. He's like obsessed. He wants to know where she's at, and what she's thinking about, and what she dreams about, and who she sleeps with. He wants to know absolutely everything. And low-key, I can relate.
What? Yo, relax.
But not like in I love my sister type of way, and that type of toxic love that you love to somebody else that's not related to you,
who you shouldn't be with at all, and it's a bad situation.
That's what I'm saying.
No matter how you think about it.
Yes. So
I will agree with that. Yes.
Sometimes toxic love is the best love, but not for everybody. It's not meant for everybody.
Push me to the edge, baby.
We need to bring Mauricio back at least for one episode, one time.
He's retired, man.
We need to know what happened.
Shout out to my wife.
Shout out to the captain.
Shout out to the wife.
But no, like I said, he is obsessed with his sister. Once he comes back, she's like the first person that he talks to. He's like, hey, I've been gone all this time, and I've seen all these things, but there's something that Africa did do, and that's make me forget about you. And I was like, yo,
he didn't stop there. He's like, I still love you. I was like, damn, bro. Like, you just seen her. You can't even go out to tea real quick?
Can you just like act like y'all haven't been gone for like 35
and she's
years?
married. She has a husband, bruh.
Yo, she had no kids, so it was still for game.
Yo, oh, as long as there's no kids, it's still for game. Yo, Peter, so what you're telling me, bruh, if she got kids, bruh, yo, it's a pass. It's gonna be a soft pass for me.
Unfortunately,
touch and go.
Unfortunately, I am that type of guy, you know.
All right.
But just because she has a goalie, man, doesn't mean you can't score. So shout out to the gang and the toxic people out there that support the boy. Nah, just kidding. But no, she sees that, you know, she's in a marriage relationship, but she doesn't seem happy. Like,
hell no,
you can tell
miserable.
when, you know, somebody's happy when they're married, and she just doesn't really seem like that. So he's like, you know what, I see the vibes. And
that guy was a fuckboy anyway, bro.
I see
even when he comes in the beginning, he's like, yo, your brother disgusting.
I know. She's like, yo, really?
Yeah.
You gonna go from this to that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You played this stuff. But no, I like the relationship, you know. He's like sickly obsessed with her, and then she's like not
she's
giving him the time of day.
Yes.
She was you know, loyal. If you can say that, like, she was super loyal.
She was trying to be.
She was like, you know what, I'm married now. You should be worrying about other things. That was in the past. We were kids, you know, trying to give him all these excuses. Yeah. And the man was like, nah, I want you, and that's point period. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah.
But, you know, eventually over time throughout the story, goes through a lot, you know. Then she gets, I guess, visited in these dreams, and she's, you know what? Yeah. I think I might risk it off of this one, you know?
Yo, for the one time, baby. But she gets pushed there, right? It's not it's like she tries to do the right thing, but she's pushed to that point where it's kind of like, fuck, like this motherfucker is just terrible, like her husband, and like this guy, he's never lets me down. My brother never lets me down. You know what I mean?
I think yes, that was always in the background. However, I feel like she was strong. She had like a strong enough you know,
personality.
Morals where she wasn't gonna, you know, I guess, fail her husband.
Yeah.
However, once the witchcraft kind of got involved, maybe it might have confused her.
You think she got corrupted through the witchcraft?
I felt like yes, it got some type of corruption, and she wasn't the same after that. After he goes and he visits her in her dreams.
You don't think she was always corrupted?
He lays the pipe. She goes like, you know what? This man can get it. So I feel like once you lay the pipe down good enough, you have the pass for anything.
So this is what you're telling me, Peter. You're telling me that if I lay the temptation in front of you, that
if you put the apple in my face, guess what?
You already corrupted. It's a wrap.
I'm gonna lick it twice and bite it.
Yo, only lick it twice?
Yo, relax.
Yo, I might lick that thing 3 times. Yo, but I ain't shit.
Yo, I want to see what's in the center of that apple, you know?
Fair enough.
But nah, so I think that's what it was. It's more of the corruption that Mr. Delaney did on her, like, and I think he doesn't mean it in the end, because he does this, right, and then he forgets about her. Like,
he doesn't forget about her, dude. But okay, she crosses a line too, and he like is like, yo, I know that we do fucked up things, but we do them for the right reasons. Which, again, you might be right, but see, that's my conflict with the story. You're right. In the end, he kind of like forgets about her, but like, I think it's, I don't know, Peter, if it's for her own good to keep her safe, or if it's because he really does think that she changed from the person that he knew before he came back, right? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's mostly because she got corrupted. However, I do feel like she did have some feelings for him. And over time, as her situation at home with her husband becomes worsened, that she begins to like, you know what? Maybe this man is the one. Like, he doesn't treat me bad. He wants the very best for me. He's already planning, you know, whatever he's planning in order to get me out of.
Peter? He doesn't force me to do an exorcism. He loves me for who I am. He supports me. Shit, that's what that's what a woman needs, bro. A man that supports her, bro. And he was there for that. Take notes. Gentlemen, like, take notes.
Yes, that is something that can be considered. But if you're her husband, right? don't you want to exercise that ghost stick that she has? It's like, yo, she's in love with a ghost stick. So she's like, yo, if this ghost stick is making you crazy, I'm going to exercise shit at you, all right? Yo, that's it for you. No more ghost sticking.
I can compete with ghost stick. You know what I'm saying? My dick game is good, bro. I can compete with that ghost stick all day. I don't know about you, though.
You know, next episode, we're going to have your wife on the show, and she's going to ask to for her.
Yo, relax. We don't need to put her on here, bro.
Yo, she's going to want you to have the same energy, all right? So,
I don't know what you talking about, bro.
shout out to your baby mom. Shout out to your baby moms.
Shout out.
But yeah, so that is one thing that, you know, I thought it was interesting to talk about is the obsession that he had for his sister.
Yes.
But you know that
but that church scene, oh my god, bro, I was so there for it, where they meet at the church.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah,
Loki, because
I'm not gonna lie, I was like, yo, baby, where you at?
Because you know, she teases him so bad, and I was like, all right, she knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
And low-key, she was down by 3, but somehow she turned around and was up by 8. And I was like, yo, this is the type of girl that I need in my life. But for those that watch the show, it's when he meets her. For some reason, he's like, yo, you summoned me, but we're never really told how.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck?
How did he summon him? Like, how did they have this communication?
It's okay. She put the bat signal up, bro.
Something happened, right? Like, yo. But anyways, he's like, hey, you summoned me. And then they meet at the church, and she's like,
we can't do this anymore.
No, she's like, you know, she comes across from where she was, and she sits on his lap. She kisses him in the mouth.
She doesn't say anything, though?
No, she doesn't say anything.
You're right. And then she just kisses him.
After she kisses him,
she says no more.
She says, no, this is the last time, and, you know, you got to forgive me, and, you know, you got to act like I'm done.
Left that man with the blue pelotas, bro.
And, you know, that man goes crazy. It's like, all right, now you're just playing with me. It's like, you know, now I know there's a chance. You just gave it to me.
Well, I think he always knew there was a chance because of when they were kids or whatever. But again, Peter, don't you think John Delaney is so selfish?
What does that even mean?
Don't you think he's so selfish?
No, look, we gotta go back. What does it mean? Like, he had a chance since they were kids? What does that even mean?
Because he was like, when he came back, he was like, yo, I still love you when I was a boy, since I was a boy or whatever. So, like, I think because of that, whatever happened back then, he always thought he had a chance. Like, that was the, like, part of the end game, right? To take her with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't really get stuck in the past. It's like, just think about it. Think about all the old...
You don't be texting them exes, bro?
No, man.
Bruh, I know you be... Bruh, come on, bro.
All right, your wife is definitely going to watch this episode. Relax.
yo, I don't be texting no exes.
Yo,
I
relax.
just want to let everybody know I'm a good
relax.
kid.
Yo, relax, all right? But, yeah, so... So she's definitely, you know, tagging... You know, I guess... push him along, like what is that word?
Oh, like teasing him?
Yeah, she's like teasing him, and that man is falling for it, but he still wants to do good. He wants to get a solid plan and make sure that they can live freely in America.
Exactly,
because that's what this whole plot is about. Is, of course, how can I get a ship? How can I get some money? And how can I get these people to follow me to America? Right?
Exactly. Well, I don't think it's people, but like. Yeah, well, how can I get the right people to follow me?
Because he starts growing relationships as he comes back. You know, it looks like his assistant, also his father's butler, or like his watcher, like his father's watcher, who saw him grow up, Mr. James Delaney grow up. He's still alive, and
Brace.
He's kind of taking care of him.
Yep.
So he seems to be like this father figure that kind of looks over him. And then he also meets other people. He meets eventually that one, the whore that used to run the offices, where the offices that he owns. They become friends as well. And then he becomes friends with a assassin / like butcher.
You talking about Atticus?
Yeah,
Atticus. The guy with the compass tattoo on his head?
Yeah. So,
yo, that man was so funny because he's so cutthroat. But remember when he like takes the heart out of that one guy? He was like so scared after it. He's so funny. I love Atticus.
Yeah, Atticus is like a highlight to the show.
Friend. He's your best friend.
Yeah, he's like I don't think he's a best friend, but
bruh, come on now.
He is one of the good ones. You know, where like, you know, if that man needs somebody to steal something for him, he does it. If he needs somebody to kill and capture somebody, he does it. So that man was like his sidekick. Like he was an unofficial sidekick to whatever the man was down for. As long as you pay him, he was down for it as well.
That assistant manager, baby.
So, shout out to the plug. But yeah, so he meets a bunch of people, and eventually he starts planning to save everybody. He knows that the East India Company is a bad thing, or I guess a bad company that just
does bad things. They do corrupt, illegal things.
Yeah, I guess. And he wants to get people out of there. So let's talk about the villain, like the East India Company. What do you think about them?
So, I feel like
are they a villain, or
they're not? They're not a villain because
they're just part of the story, and
I think
based on.
I think the person behind the East India Company, the head honcho, who his name is Stuart Strange, right?
The president.
I think he's the real bad guy, right? He thinks he's on top of the world, untouchable, baby. He has this whole company behind him that he controls, and his little assistants and directors are his little puppets, pieces on a chessboard, basically, who are expendable at any time, and let him do whatever he needs to do whatever he needs to do, right? So I think that Stuart Strange is the real villain behind everything, if you ask me.
So you're basing it on just this one guy, right? The guy himself is the bad guy, not the whole company.
No, I don't think so, because again,
being that he's the president, he rules the whole company.
Exactly.
So it's the whole company.
But he makes all the decisions, right? How can you say that a whole machine is evil when the person controlling it is the one doing evil things with it, right? This company is providing jobs for a bunch of people. They're providing food for a bunch of fucking families and shit, bro. This is a large corporation that is allowing for trade to happen cross-country between vast regions, man. So I don't think it's bad what the East India Company does, that it's a big trading company, but I think the person behind the whole thing is the one using it in a corrupt way to do bad things.
All right. Shout out to the CEO. But so this man, which I don't think he's the villain. He's just
you think it's the whole company?
He's just a bad guy in Mr. Delaney's story, right? So he's not really a villain. I think
because Mr. Delaney does bad things too.
Exactly. So if you were to compare, right?
So yeah, go ahead.
In this world where the East India Company has already been established, and I know there's like a bunch of skeletons in everybody's closet, they're trying to keep it afloat, and yes, they are trying to control as much as they can. They're trying to build a monopoly and trying to make it.
Yes.
That's everybody's goal. Everybody's goal is to become the very best of what they do.
Super
and here
rich.
comes Mr. Delaney, just arrived from Africa, trying to ruin everything.
Yo, trying to secure the bag.
So if you think about it in their perspective, right, he's the villain.
Yeah.
Mr. Delaney is the villain. He's ruining their deals, and he's ruining their plans, and he's stealing their merchandise, and he's messing with the
everyday
king,
operations.
No, like the king.
Oh yeah.
And the king,
crown.
the king is messing with them.
But let me ask you this, Peter.
So if you think about it in their perspective, Mr. Delaney is the bad guy.
Yeah. But does the East India Company really care about the crown and what he thinks?
Well, no. Once you get that powerful, because it looks like the East India Company, at least in the story, is like one of the biggest companies in the world. Like they have like a monopoly in trade for like some of the most important things, including gunpowder, which gets you on top of the food chain for everybody else. Yeah. So in theory, they had the resources to go to war with the King of England. Like they were up there, and that's why they were
They
able.
even had their own soldiers, which I thought was cool.
They were able to like make deals with the King of England, or I guess I don't know, was he the King of
He's like
England?
the Prince Regent at the time, basically.
So he was the king of that region, but not really the King of England.
Well, no, he is. He's just like a I guess, basically, something like that.
Okay, so the East India Company, I think they are the bad guys, but not really.
Yeah.
And then we get introduced to the King of England, which is also very important to the plot. Man, that guy was disgusting. That man.
Tell me how this man was fucking sweating while he was eating. What kind of shit is that?
Yo, I don't know. I guess that's what power does to you, right? When you get so powerful where there's nothing that people can tell you and nobody can tell you no, you just get infatuated with it, where like you start eating a lot and you start sleeping at so many, whatever you want. You just become sloppy, right?
Yeah.
So that's what, I guess it makes you think. At least it made me think. It's like, people don't deserve power. People get sloppy and they get, messy, and they are just bored. So people with power just do dumb things,
Yeah.
So it just made me wonder, like, what would I do if I was in the same
So
place?
what would you do, Peter?
I would try to make everything better, right? So that I want to say that, I hate everybody, but I still want to do, things right.
Yeah.
And make sure, I guess, the people under me are good and they're helping everybody else.
Shit. Peter for president, everybody. You heard it here.
Vote for Peter. So yeah, that's what I would do. I don't really like people taking advantage of other people, but I'm not the president. Another person that we can address that's very important. I want to say the U.S. spy.
Oh yes, dude, he was so good too.
Like, he was kind of. I think he was the villain. Like, out of all of these,
I don't know, man, because he was just being. We figured out that he was being used at the end of it too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he was really a villain. You talking about Dumbarton?
The one with the glasses?
Yeah. Special Agent Dumbarton.
Yes. He was I think that he was the true villain.
I don't think so, man, because he was being used in the end too. I mean, maybe he was gonna be a paycheck out of it. So I guess you could look at it like that.
Listen me out. So he was being used, and he was using both countries. He was representing the U.S.
for his own selfish needs,
and try to get treaties with, like, I guess, people to betray England, and then he was passing secrets to the,
to the East India Company.
The East India Company, and getting a profit off of it. So he was serving both masters,
which was crazy. You didn't expect that, right?
And yes, you don't see that until the very end. We're like, all right. Maybe in the end, I was kind of expecting it.
What did Miss Delaney say? She was like, Mr. Delaney says that you have a leaky ship.
Yes.
And he's willing to take care of it.
Yes. I like when people talk in code. That's the type of stuff that I talk about. But yeah, I liked him. I guess he did a great job because I hated him in the end. Like, I wanted him to die. He did. So shout out to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was very interesting in his role. He was one step ahead of Mr. Delaney.
He was
most of the
at
time.
all times, but that's because he was playing both sides. He had all the information.
Yes, he had all the information, and I hated it. I was like, I think Mr. Delaney has it. He has a solid plan. He has a solid strategy. Every time he has like a win where, like, all right, he has a deal with, like, England, so the East India Company doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
Somebody else comes and it's always him.
Yeah.
Right? Or, like, every time he has a deal with the East India Company where, like, England doesn't kill him, here comes him and, like, oh, I need you to do something for me too.
Yeah.
So it's like every time he was already, like,
doing all right,
get his plan on motion, and he's trying to make sure everything is good for his plan.
Yeah.
Here comes the U.S. spy guy and always
just fucking it up.
That's what I'm saying. That's
making
why,
it more complicated.
And that's
why
I thought that he was the villain, because he was making it hot every time.
Yeah, you're right. He was a constant obstacle. Yeah.
And when it was time for, like, they captured him, and their stuff, they want to get everybody's name so England can kill all the U.S. spies in England. He didn't even leave. He stayed where he was, and
he knew he was safe, bro. He was playing both sides.
Yeah, but don't you think but if
you a spy, bro, that's it. Like, you a spy for life. You can't leave.
I guess so.
I mean, unless you're burned, I guess. But nobody ever really found out who he was.
Yeah, I mean,
but
we're not really addressing that either.
If you're saying if your friend, or a known associate got picked up by the police, and you were secretly working for a secret society, and he knew that, you would just, as soon as he got arrested, you would just run, or you wouldn't wait it out. You would have no faith.
I feel like spies are on the go always. So as soon as you finish your mission, or you can, you contact whoever you contact, you're out. You're on the next mission. You're in the next city, and you are in the move, because that's how people get caught.
This is true.
You have a trace where people can trace you for, and that's how people get caught. So, I felt like that was not really addressed, but. What did I know? Another thing that I also want to talk about is I want to say the setting. Like, what'd you think about the set story takes place on?
Oh, dude, it was incredible, man. London, like the middle of it, it was nice. Like you really get that 1800s feel, right? Everybody's wearing the little top hats. Everybody's got the canes. You can tell that like London is super like a civilization that is like all city like or whatever for that time, right? But it's like super corrupt. So I think that makes it even more real, right? Like you've got like all these people, you know, with their own agendas, and then you meet some of like, you know, like the dukes, right? They have so much money. They go to all these
you meet
plays.
some very important people.
They're like fucked up, right? They want to like, you know, do what they want with women. You see that there's a like, you know, like a what's it called when people cross dress like that. Drag. You see, like there's like I guess back in the day, drag queens basically. They call them mollies, where they go to these like houses and the guys gonna dress up like girls basically, and then like you know do what they want to do, pretend and have a great time. You see like that Tom is accepted in society because he's looked at as a savage, right? Because of the time, you know, slaves, anything that wasn't like, you know, that white European culture was looked as the other, as the savage. So I think that the location and the ambiance of like the setting and everything like that was real accurate. It was real. It was real gritty, and it like just made the story even more like intense, you know?
Yeah. I definitely agree with you there. The setting is very fitting. I really found the aesthetic of it. Sometimes it was beautiful on the simplicity side, where it was like, you know, a bunch of land and some carriages and
the ships,
everything,
the docks.
Everything.
But like, don't you feel like it was like London? Like, because dude, there were rats everywhere, like people, dead bodies everywhere, bro.
I've
like,
never
it was
been
like
to
a
London.
Cesspool sometimes.
I've never been to London, so I don't know.
Back in the day, you know,
I don't know what London looks like, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, they don't look like that right now. You know what I'm saying?
I wish. The only thing I really wish is that we were shown more parts of London. Like we only got shown the docks where like he had his offices.
Yeah.
We shown his house,
her house,
and we're only shown like the East India Company's building
office.
Like those three settings. I would have liked that they were more
like the whole city look type of thing.
Yeah, where like maybe more scenes on where they're like walking and, you know, go into like a, you know, different building or something, and we would have seen the streets or something. We're not really shown in the series, but you know, the setting was beautiful. I really like the aesthetic. Sometimes I wish I was born in that era where like everything was a little simpler, but at the same time, you know, they still had like cholera back then, so no, thank you. So
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. But I guess everybody looked cooler with their top hats and, you know, their long coats, like you said.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just me wanting a long coat.
Bro, but
really.
don't you think they were hot as shit? That man had a shirt, a vest, a long coat, pants. I think he even had like a leather long thing around, like satchel thing, and then he had his top hat on. Yo, people, I mean, it must have been real cold. I hope so.
Yeah, I heard that in London it's always like cloudy and ugly, and, you know, the weather is always, you know, pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I understand why they wear those things. It's like, it's just to cover up because it's either cold or it's raining, and that's the only two options.
Yo, but when you know, when they were moving the gunpowder, I thought it was really cool when they put the bandanas around their mouths basically, and they were wearing all that leather. It just made it look all steampunky and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. There's certain scenes where they look a little cooler.
Yeah.
But I like the setting. I wish they would show more, but, you know, maybe in second season.
I hope so, man. Make that budget bigger.
So let's talk about the ending. What do you think?
Oh my god,
well,
bro.
Wait, before we get to that, all right, so Mr. Delaney, he comes back. Let's just do a recap of where we are.
Yeah.
You know, he meets all these people. He starts planning. It looks like Mr. Delaney, right?
Yeah.
The whole time, he was inherited some land, right? That was a part of, I guess, a deal that his dad with like some natives.
Yeah, the Nuke the Island Treaty, basically.
Yeah, and they gave him some land, and then that land is so important that it gives them like a whole island.
Yes, but it's like a passageway between Canada and like China basically.
Yeah, so whoever owns that land gets that pathway to China in order to have like a very
solid trade route with the pellets and everything else and the tea so basically.
He wants to to have that land, or either that or he wants to trade it for like a monopoly. So he has like a deal either he has a deal with the US in order to have like freedom and a monopoly. Yep. Or he has also another deal with well, I think he doesn't have the deal with the East India Company, but he knows that if anything goes, bad with anybody else, they are willing to buy it for like so much money,
so that they can also take care of the whole monopoly trade route, right? Because they got the pull for it.
And then he has a third deal, right, with England. I don't know how they got into the play. Like, I totally forgot how they got back into the play.
Yeah. Because, so there's three ways, right? There's either the U.S., right? Yes. Because the U.S. is on that side of the continent or whatever. And then there is the East India Company, who has, all these resources and is already trading with all these people.
They just want
and then the crown just wants the path. They can do whatever they want to do with it, basically, and maintain control.
Yes,
and then they can assign they can assign it to whatever company they want, basically.
I got you. So it's just they just want the pathway to get to China and back sooner. I got it. So yeah, once we get the treaties out, right? You got a treaty with the U.S., the treaty with England, and the treaty with East India.
Yeah.
We see that this man is secretly planning a third deal, right, or like a fourth deal, like where. Yes, he does want to get freedom, but he also wants to make the slave owners pay.
Yes.
So he starts planning and he starts doing all these things in order to start making gunpowder, right?
Yeah.
In order to get some leverage. So he goes at his way and he gets Atticus, one of his friends, to steal some type of ingredient in order to start making some gunpowder. And that is where we get introduced to, I guess, the highlight of the show. At least one of my favorite characters in the show, the chemist. The chemist is wild, man. The chemist, he likes to party.
He's just here for a good time, not a long time, baby.
That's my type of people right there. So yeah, he likes to party. He knows a lot of stuff about science, and he's the guy that makes the gunpowder for Mr. Delaney.
Yep.
Right. So in the process of all that, there is like also a very loose side story in the background where it looks like Mr. Delaney has a son.
Yep. His name is Robert. But he's been keeping him like in secret, right? With some kind of guy that owns like a little water well type of thing, basically, that he's powering. But we really don't find out about him until the gunpowder gets taken. But yes, he does have a son. We don't know. I don't remember it being addressed in the show that. Is it with the sister? Is it with somebody else?
Yeah, that's like, probably one of my only problems there.
Mom?
Is like, because we're not really told whose son it really is.
Yeah.
It says that, well, they say that it is of his blood, but it could also be his dad's son, right? It could be like a bastard, like, a bastard son, his brother's half brother or something, right? So we're not really told. So that is something that also needs to be addressed. I don't know if it's his son, and if it is it with his sister?
Yeah.
But his sister doesn't even address it. Like, she doesn't even address it in no parts of the story.
She doesn't. So I don't think
so.
It's
therefore,
hers.
she doesn't know it's hers, or like she doesn't know that he's still alive or anything.
Yeah.
So I think it was more of a bastard son, another half brother of his, that he didn't want him to have any trouble. So he's like, you know what, just make sure he's good, and save some money for him later.
Yeah.
So it's important because he seems like he's gonna be Mr. Delaney's legacy. He's
he trusts him. He trusts him.
He's trusting him, but also kind of getting him acquainted to the business.
Real quick. He was like, "Yo, so we sold some gunpowder, and you're now part of the problem.
And since you saw us, now you're part of the team. So get to spinning." But yeah, so as we begin to move forward in the story, he's making the gunpowder, and he trades it to the U.S. in order to get safe passage whenever he needs to to the U.S. I guess Navy.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming along. He's getting his plan together, and he's now having like a gunpowder business,
basically,
right? And you think he's making it, and he's about to succeed on whatever mission he has, and you know, still have his land and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout the story, you see how it gets messy, and the East Indian Company is desperate, and they just want his land so bad. It's either his land or they want him dead.
Yes.
But they can't get either because there is a third person that owns the land, or like a second person that owns the land, and there's like the secret widow in the middle of the story that you're told about.
For the dad. Secret
at
widow
the
for
beginning,
the dad.
I was like, all right, she has to be an actress. It has to be like a U.S. agent spy.
But she wasn't.
I know, like, we're not really told. Like, I have so many questions throughout this. Dude. It's like,
I know,
is she involved with the U.S. at all? Like, where does she come from?
I don't
how did she
so,
fall
bro.
in love with him when he was so detestable, and it looked like everybody hated him?
Yeah.
You know, and it looks like he was crazy in the end. So what time period were they ever, like, I guess, in love? Like, how do you marry somebody? I guess back then...
I mean, maybe he was going on her shows, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I guess maybe back then, it's not really for a love thing. Maybe if you saw a deal and you saw that, you know, he had some money, you were like, you know what, let me just marry this guy and see where he goes.
Bro. She probably did.
Yeah, back in the day, people were wild. So, yeah, we move along with the story real quick. And what else? Am I missing anything throughout here to recap?
You know, obviously, you know, along the way, he's cultivated relationships with many people, right? So the only thing I would highlight, right, throughout this, right, is that he meets the widow, right? But they kind of get off on the wrong foot, right? Because he's like, man, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, of course, anybody that wants your property and your land, she wanted 50%. And I was like, yo, you wasn't with me shooting at the gym? What do you mean?
You ain't been here since day one?
That's right, yo. I had to go and beat up some people in order to get this ship. So you better relax.
Yeah.
But no, she kind of grows on me. You know, looks like she's a day one rider.
And she nurtures for him. You know what I mean? Like she cares about him. She sees that he's kind because he tries to keep her alive. And
I don't know, man. It's that Tom Hardy effect. You know, that man looks good, so I think I can settle down.
You're like, yo, that man looking good right now.
Yo.
But I think he does save her life enough times that she's like, all right, this guy, I'm for the team, basically.
I don't think she saves her life.
He does.
I think he's kind of a douche because he knows where it's going, and he lets her do her way anyways.
He does.
Just to teach her a lesson.
But he has to do that.
What?
Otherwise, she wouldn't have learned.
I love that type of energy. I was like, you know what? I'm going to let you go and enjoy yourself. And once you cry and asking for help, then I'm going to help you.
They come find me.
But I will let you go through it first. Yeah. Because I'm trying to tell you, you're not listening. So go ahead. Go ahead and play yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
And he did. He did let her do that.
He let her do that. She learns. She sees that man is on a mission. And everything he says kind of makes sense. So from that point on, she decides to be loyal.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. And she's loyal and annoying at the same time. It's like, all right, that man is doing his job and she wants to know, you know, where he is. Like, that man doesn't come home for like 3 days. And
I know,
she's
right?
Like,
she's like, where's
he at? Where he at? It's like, relax, yo. She's not even your husband or something, you know?
Yeah.
And she also gets with Dad, you know, it looks like she's really close with Mr. Delaney, so it kind of makes the sister jealous.
She does.
In a way, which is good for the show. Like, you know, it's a love interest, finding out that different women is in his life.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was her that helped him get, like, off the obsession of his love with his sister.
I don't think that's it, bro. I think you're wrong. I think it was...
Then what is it that makes them say no at the end?
I think it was what the sister did in such a sloppy manner.
What?
I think that's what it is.
What is it?
Where she killed the dude.
I felt like how did
her husband.
How did that go wrong?
How did that go wrong? It was messy. She did it in her room. There could have been so many ways to have done that.
She was clean. She was surgical about it. That man didn't even scream.
Yo, he didn't.
If anything, she did her best. She just was over it in the end.
You say, like, no mercy, just like, you know, putting you down like a little dog, basically?
Yes, and then she did it in a way where nobody knew. Like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, servants in the house.
Yeah.
But nobody knew that the man was dead. and then she left the house and went and see Mr. Delaney, her half brother.
Yeah.
And she told him all about it, and then Mr. Delaney, the
But
pimp,
he was upset,
swag master that
but
he is.
He was upset when
he's
she
like,
did
"Don't
that.
worry about it. I'll take care of it."
Yeah, but he was upset when she did that. And even when she says, "I did what you told me to do," and he's putting logs in the fire, he was like, in a low voice, under his breath, he was like, "When did I?" And then she cuts him off, and she's like, "What?" And then he's like, "Never mind." And I think that's the thing. Think about it. I am James Delaney. I do bad things because I've been through this shit. You're my sister. You're this perfect thing. You've never had to get your hands dirty. You shouldn't have had to have done this, basically. But she went to that place where he's at. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she crossed into the barrier where he's at, and he didn't like that at all.
Well, you don't know what she's been through, man. You know how much abuse she was getting? She was probably getting, forcefully,
It doesn't look like she was murdering people like James Delaney was.
Yeah, but she was getting abuse. She was, getting faulted for things that she didn't do. Like, the man was like,
I agree.
So
right?
she was being tortured in a way.
She was being driven crazy.
She was over it. She wanted to get out of that, and then that man wasn't letting her go. And so she took the next best thing, and that was killing the man.
Yeah.
Which I hated that guy for some reason. I just thought that he was a lame.
He was
a
annoying.
bozo. Like that man was such a loser.
Definition of a bozo. He was at the funeral talking about what we gonna get, baby, and then he shows up and he's like, "What the fuck? I'm not gonna get nothing."
Yeah, as soon as she doesn't get anything, that man flips. And
bozo.
After that, it's like everything that she did, right? It's like, why you think about your brother? Like she wasn't even doing anything.
But tell me he wasn't a badass when they went to the will thing with the lawyer, and everybody was talking about your dad owes me money, and the lawyer was like, the son will not inherit the debt, and then he takes out that big ass coin bag and just dumps it, and he's like, everybody here will do a single file line and they will get paid in due time.
Oh yeah, Mr. Delaney wasn't for play, and you see that because he's willing to kill anybody at any time if you offend him, right? So people that know and have spoken with him know that man is not for play. However, this guy, right, this bozo, the husband of his sister, right, seems to not care, and
he doesn't give a fuck.
He's like trying him at every single corner.
And he's such a bozo that when he gets promoted, he gets that job, he's like, "Oh baby, all is forgiven." I'm like, you're a bozo, bro. Like, you just abused your wife this whole time because you couldn't get a job. Like,
no,
bro,
but like,
come
look,
on,
all right,
bro.
listen to me. All right, so I agree. This man is a total loser, bozo, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Tell me you would have done something different happened the fact that your wife was in love with this ghost stick of her half brother. Tell me, what would you have done? A logical person like you are, what would you done?
Yo,
and if you say anything different,
I'm getting divorced.
I am judging you. I am judging you. All right, go ahead.
Why can't you just get a divorce, bro? You could just be like, "Yo, go take that ghost stick. I'm out, baby."
The love of your life. What are you doing,
bruh? That ain't no love of my life if she taking ghost stick, bruh. Peace.
Sometimes it's not in the mood.
If a relationship isn't working,
the ghost stick is always on go.
Oh my gosh, dude! If a relationship isn't working, bro, and that ghost stick is good, bro, you need to pull out, bro. You just need to be like, all right, I'm out. This relationship ain't for me. This girl obviously don't love me. She love that ghost stick. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or yes. Like, he had to grow though, Peter. You have to admit, he didn't even try to like be a better man for that girl. Like, every time he was a disgusting fuck who was always mean to her and was taking out his anger.
Yeah. I think he needed help. I guess
he needed that anger management classes, bro.
He also needed to be more confident in himself.
He did,
because every time he did something, he was always compared to her brother, right? And that's why it kind of made him go mad, because he never viewed him as cool as the brother. Right, her brother. I do like the scene where they get super drunk at that party and he challenged him for a duel.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like super still hanged over from the day before. Yeah. And
he's not even sure, bro.
They go to this lake and they're about to have the little duel, like a gun duel, right?
Yeah.
and they're telling him all the rules, and he's like super prepared. He has his gun. He has a second as well.
Yeah.
And he's ready to go, right? And Mr. Delaney, he doesn't even want to be there, but he's just following along. He's like, you know what?
He's just like, I'm just here so I won't get fired.
He's just, I just want him to do a solid because, I bet his sister is never going to get off my back. So whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they do the duel, and it looks like it was fixed from the go, and it's funny. I like that. I like that scene where
Yeah, and he knew it was a wrap because he was like, he didn't even shoot first, bro. He got first. Knowing what you know about John Delaney, he would have taken that man down in a second, bro. But he knew that shit was rigged, bro. He wasn't taking an L.
I think in the rules of a gun duel, right?
Yeah.
Whoever is the challenger can shoot first.
Really?
Yeah. There's rules to it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
if the challenger can choose first, what kind of shit is that, bro? It's like I'm gonna die already, bro.
So there's different types. I don't know what I guess what this one is, but there's only one bullet, right?
Yeah.
And since they're not supposed to be fatal,
yeah,
because they say once you're injured, right, we'll take you to the doctor.
I'm with you.
They're not really supposed to go for the head, right away.
Yeah.
But they can shoot each other, and there's only one bullet. So the guy goes first, and then the other guy is supposed to retaliate, right?
Yeah.
And that's how these duels usually work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a little bit more context that needs to be added there. But those are just I don't know where I know this from, but I think I heard this before.
Though.
Yeah. Back in the day, gun duels were a little different, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's how it happens. But yeah, that was a pretty cool scene. It gives you more, I guess, context of what time period they are when they have these gun duels,
and it's all powder. And that was cool too because I guess when he shot the gun, he just shot powder residue that was in his gun basically, and James Delaney's just like, oh shit, this man shot me right here.
I mean, yeah, Mr. Delaney knew that it was already fixed and planned, and he knows that there's nothing that can kill him because the East and the East Indian in London wants him alive. They can't kill him, or else his land goes to the U.S.
Yeah.
So they have all these spies and all these people in important places. Where his second, the bozo's second, the guy that's supposed to hold his gun, kind of rigs his gun where
takes the bullet out.
There's no bullet in his gun, so when he shoots Mr. Delaney, nothing there.
Yeah, dude. But tell me. He was on go though because as soon as he's like, yo, I guess some people want me alive more than other people want you alive, and he just shoots that man in the back of the head, bro. He didn't have to do all that, man. That guy was literally just following orders. It was another day on the job, and that man got shot in the back of the head, bro.
Yo, that's what happens when you cross Mr. Delaney. So you better watch yourself before they wreck you. All right.
Yo, and then being the bozo that he was, he goes home.
Oh yeah.
And his wife is like, "What happened?"
This scene I hated. I hated this scene.
I killed that man, low key.
No, he didn't say that.
He did though. He was like, if I'm here, you already know what happened, basically.
No, he was just messing with her.
He was.
She knew. She was like, "There's no way. I have a bozo as a husband."
There was no way.
Yeah, of course. She was like, "We're not wait until the people whispers, and then I hear what happens." Gossip. And then he's like, "Yeah, because I have to listen to it every day." And I was like, "You know what?
It's about you and your brother."
I respect that. In a way, I'm like, "Yo, that man is hurt. That man is so hurt that it makes him do dumb bozo stuff."
All that masculinity just coming right off you, bro.
Like, yo, he had so much energy at the beginning. He's like, "Yo, say the word and I go kill him right now on the spot." As soon as he got to the burial of his dad, he's like, "Yo, say the word and I go kill him right now."
True.
And towards the end, he's like, "You know what? He's all right. I don't want no smoke with Mr. Delaney."
He looked out, low key.
Yeah. He was like, "Yo, I want no smoke." And
he kept me alive.
And then he dies. Sister kills him because she's over how he is.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta admit, bro. She kind of got she was tied down, then she was felt up, and then she was quote unquote exercised. I mean, that's a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, sexual, just abuse happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Just because she's a woman and people think that she's got a demon in her.
Well, back in those days, right, they didn't really think that highly of women. Like they only used them for one thing, and unfortunately,
Oh, fuck.
it's,
Well, damn.
it was a different time. It was a different time.
Fair enough.
You know, we gotta make America great again.
Yo, relax. Yo, get this man a MAGA hat. Yo, Peter says build that wall.
Yo, I didn't say all that. I just say those were better times.
All right, fair enough.
No, I'm just playing. But no. Once we see that her sister kills her husband because she's tired of how loser he is,
Yeah.
and he goes and see Mr. Delaney. Mr. Delaney says, "You know what? I changed my mind, and
I'm good.
We can't
You're
be
a little
together.
too crazy for
You are a
me."
little too crazy. You messed everything up.
But
I was sickly in love with you, but
Yeah.
now that you kill people, I'm kind of good."
Yeah. And we still don't know, man, if he did it to protect her because he ship. Remember, he didn't tell her that he lost the ship. He didn't say anything like that. He didn't say that he was getting attacked from all these sides and somebody that had betrayed him. But he was going through a lot in that moment. And a part of me still thinks, man, that John Delaney did that because he wanted to protect his sister and not make her a target or a weakness.
What are you talking about? When? Where?
When she came to confront him, like you said about right now, when she came to confront him, like, hey, now we can be together, and he was like, yo, this ain't working out. We gonna have to take a break for a little bit.
I got you. So do you think it was all a plot, like where he wanted her to like, I guess, just be away from him because he knew the type of trouble that was coming his way.
Yes.
And so she wanted her to like just be away, and she wanted to say mean things in order for her to go away and cry.
Yes. To keep him away, to keep her away for now, because the ship got blown up. The ship got blown up basically, and that was like the most important aspect of the whole thing that he needed to get to America basically and get away from everybody.
I think you're right. Like I didn't see this perspective when I was watching the show, but I think you're right. And low key,
because what happens at the end,
he's crying.
Yes,
he's crying over it.
Yes,
like he didn't know that she dies in the end, or she kills herself,
and he's not even sure.
And yes,
because he's like, I would know. I would feel that shit.
Because I low-key think
talk to me.
I low-key think that the dead are still there. Like they still talk to him, like the one slave at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. But
we're not really told, and therefore that's how he knows everything.
Yes.
Because the dead come and tell him.
Yeah.
And then that's how he know all these secrets, and that's why he's always one step ahead.
Yeah.
So when he doesn't know that his sister is dead, it kind of does best with me a little bit, because I'm like, oh man, did he really love her? Like was it for real?
Peter, you're telling me that you do all these things for this woman to make sure that you're with her in the end. You get all these people together for this mass man, and you're only back basically, not only for revenge but for her. But you're telling me that he doesn't love her in the end? Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, maybe he'd love her, but like she still cares. Like that's still her, like his sister. So it still hurts, but not like love. I feel like he saw the redhead.
Shit,
and
you're right. It's getting a little messy.
I was like, the redhead's a rider, man. She been day one. She's like, what?
But there's no.
She cares for me.
But there's no like. So the redhead, I see. I see what you're saying, but
the widow. The widow is the redhead.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any like attraction like that. I think that she kind of nurtures and cares for him. But that's because he tried to take care of her.
She wanted that Mr. Delaney thing. Yeah, she wanted it. She wanted.
Because when she goes to the Countess, right, to get the letter for saying that the United States needs to give safe passage to John Delaney and everybody on the ship, she's like, yo, the Countess is like, yo, who are you? And she's like, yo, I'm Miss Delaney. And she's like, oh, so you care about him? And she's like, nah, I'm his mom. And I was like, yo,
that's not even how it went. But I was gonna reference that scene as well. But it was more like, hey, who are you? And she was like, I'm Mr. Delaney. And she's like, oh, you're his wife? And he was like, no, I'm his mother. So it had nothing to do with like, no, I don't love him.
Yeah, but she couldn't have said that. She could have just been like, I'm his wife. It's every day, all day, baby.
It was a cool scene, and I thought it was a cool, section. Yeah. However, no, I was gonna quote the other scene when they're at the party. Yeah. And there's a scene where they're it's the widow, the redhead girl, and the sister, right? They're in the bathroom because they're both in the party.
Yeah.
And she's trying to like at least get to know her, but at the same time kind of challenge her in a way where she's like, so I know that he loves you, but do you love him? And then she's like, no, I'm already married. You know, I could never. He's my brother. So she's like, all right, so if you don't love him, do you think it's no issue if I go after him? And she's like, you know what, any woman that goes after him is deemed for like, you know, failure or something. So I was like,
it's not gonna work out.
So I was like, all right, so there is a chance that she might be feeling him some type of way, you know.
You're right okay, so I'm not gonna say that we can't go there, okay? I'm not gonna say, I just feel like there hasn't been enough character development to go there, right? Like I can see it, Peter. Look, I'm with you. I can see it there, but there hasn't been enough interaction between them to go there. Because even in the end, when they're like, you know, working together and stuff like that, you still don't see that one intimate moment that lets you know that, you know, that she really feels him like that and he really feels her like that. That's my only gripe with that.
I feel like they didn't really do a good job with that relationship, like at least the show. Because it was there.
But Peter, there's a lot of relationships happening. There's a whole lot happening.
Definitely that. But I feel like the show kind of missed I guess, or maybe they weren't planning to fully unveil it yet. But yeah, there's definitely a great chance for a romance there to happen because she seems to care a lot for him. You know, so much that, you know, she wants to know that he's good and that he's alive, and any plan that he has, she wants to be, you know, with him, and whatever she can do to help, she wants to help, right? And she has nothing to gain. Like, she already has.
She doesn't.
She has all these paperwork that all she really has to do is wait it out. You know, the lawyers are gonna make sure that she's legit a wife for, you know, a widow to, you know, the guy,
the original Mr. Delaney.
And then she's gonna get the land, and she's gonna get, you know, the house and everything. So she's really doing all of this is because she wants to. Like, yes, they did kind of, you know, threaten her at the beginning of the story, where like, you know what, since, you know, you did, I guess, try to kill like a very important duke or governor or something.
It was a duke.
You can either sell us your part of the land, or you're gonna go to jail, right? Or they're gonna hang you or something.
They're gonna hang you.
And so Mr. Delaney cuts a deal or something, and then he gets her out of jail, and then after that, she's been loyal ever since. So she had no like other thing to do. Like, she could have just waited out. And Mr. Delaney's
she still supports the team, bro, because she gets the letter. She even takes a bullet for the men in the end.
I felt like yes and no, because in the end, everything goes AWOL, right? Everybody's gonna get shot. So she was just defending herself. What I didn't like is how they killed the main whore, right? The main whore kind of like
and how they went. So that's what pissed me off too, because they let her do whatever she wants. John Delaney goes back, right, to make sure that Atticus doesn't touch her. None of his syndicate like attacks her or kills her for betraying him. And they help her get her revenge while they're at it. And they give her safe passage to the new world, and she still dies at the end. I was so pissed. I was like, yo, they did all that work and that investment did not pay off.
I felt like she deserved it because
she did a bad thing in the end.
She did betray Mr. Delaney after everything that they've been through. And
you don't think she's alive though? Like, maybe she was just passed out. She looked dead though in that scene.
I don't think they carried her body. They just left her there.
Yeah, I think they just left her there too. Because in the end, we only see the widow basically like trying to like, you know, live because she had a gunshot wound.
she got shot.
And the chemist, bro.
The chemist got blown up, and I think he did die.
Everybody, shout out to Maria. Remember, like, when he was so hurt, and when they were at the end, when they were leaving, he was like, Maria, I'm so sorry. And I was like, damn, there used to be this girl named Maria that I used to like back in middle school, bro. I'm so sorry too. Relatable.
So you could relate it to him on like a side thing.
I was relating to him on a side thing, low key. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, we're gonna pin this section right here. We're gonna send this to your baby mama, see what she thinks.
yo, relax. Why are you trying to get me in trouble, bro?
She's gonna go through your phone tomorrow, talking about like, who's Maria?
yo, Maria.
Yo, you better not have no Marias on your phone right now. Delete them today.
Yo, gonna do it.
But yeah, the ending was the only thing I didn't really like because everybody kind of dies or they get injured or we're not really told what happens to them other than Mr. Delaney and Atticus, right? Everybody else is either hurt or like in shambles or dead.
Yep.
We're not really told. Another thing is like this completely separate plot in the story where they are finding out, like they have an investigator in order to bring the East India Company down because it looked like they were the main, person at fault for the slaves that at the beginning of the show
that died on the ship.
Right,
basically.
there's a private investigator
plantation
that is finding out who did this, and then he knows that Mr. Delaney was the lone survivor of the ship, and he knows that there's some type of East India, I guess, relation to it, where like he's trying to prove that they're the ones that did it.
Yes.
Right. So he's conducting this investigation, and Mr. Delaney is helping him, and he even got him in contact with like one of the, I guess, informants of the East Indian Company.
Yeah, the guy that was taking all the notes basically for them, Godfrey.
So he's getting all this case for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he also gets betrayed, but then he gets like some type of makeup for his betrayed.
Yes.
Because they told him that Mr. Delaney and Godfrey were going to testify on his behalf in order to get the East India, to jail.
Mm-hmm.
But then since they escape and they were going, they go through this whole plot, he doesn't get anything. So the East India Company is never really, I guess, brought to justice. In the end, Mr. Delaney leaves like a letter for him to find in order to get like some evidence that will
only his letter, but Godfrey, an account from Godfrey as well.
Yes, that will basically get the East India president in jail.
Yep.
But before that, right before he gets justice and everything, it looks like the chemist left one last gift for the East India Company president.
Sir Strange.
And he's excited because he thinks it's like his informant.
Won. He got the treaty.
Yeah, he's like because it was like supposed to be the treaty from the U.S. Spy employee that he has.
Yep.
And he opens up the letter and it's a bomb and he dies.
Yes, dude, which is great because I'm like, damn, this man took care of all his business, literally, like one by one. Like,
yes,
I'm gonna give you the evidence that you need, but I got business with that man too, and I'm gonna handle it.
He did. I want to say he did tie up all his loose ends. He made sure that all his people that were against him got theirs, and everybody that was with him, he's either with him still in the boat, or like at least he paid him up or did whatever he needed to do in order to make sure they were good.
Yeah.
So the show kind of does tie up in a very nice little tight bow, and I guess you are left with some type of satisfaction where like, all right, the bad guys paid, the good ones are free, and then towards the end where you're like, all right, cool, Mr. Delaney, he did what he did, but he's a good guy and he did all these things, right? Then we're told that Mr. Delaney is actually gonna go sell like his gunpowder to like a third party, not even to the U.S. in order to get like
because he's like, we are Americans and we're gonna go sell gunpowder. I'm like, what, bruh? This man is playing 3D chess the entire time, bro.
Oh yeah,
he had like a plan to a plan to a plan. But I'm still upset that we don't get it. Like, he leaves, but like, bruh, where's his sister? Like, is she alive? Where is she?
I think she did die, man. When she, don't you see that she jumped off the bridge?
Yeah, I see that, but like, I mean, he said he would have felt it. I don't know.
I guess you are right. I guess we're shown that he jumps off the bridge, but we're not shown that she's dead.
Yeah.
So therefore, there's always unless it's confirmed, like on the second season or something.
Yeah.
We don't know if she's really died because she could be just like
chilling somewhere.
Yeah.
Coming back from the grave.
Maybe in the second season, maybe the writers bring her back. She's like, oh, she surprisingly survived. There was like a boat underneath that saved her or something. But that'll be for season 2. But overall, the season itself, it was a very tough ride.
Very rugged.
Very slow paced, but it was super rich, and it had a bunch of things that. What would you say,
bro? It was great, man. I mean, that the growth, right? Because like it's like, oh, I come back, I have this plan, right? But the cool thing I think that makes it so great, right, is not only that he's a badass, right, and there's this mystery, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, death and witchcraft aspect to it, but that these characters all like become loyal to him, man. Like there's just this loyalty theme throughout it, that he inspires loyalty with certain individuals. They follow him, and you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, he is a kind person, and he does bad things to do good things, but in the end, you know, for the greater good of some master plan that he has. What that master plan is, we don't know, but that's what keeps us on the hook, right? Finding out what the next play is, right? Because every time we see John Delaney, and every episode, he has to have a different play, because everybody is shifting the board, man. And I think that's what's really incredible about the show.
I think that's one of my favorite things about the show, is that every time
you think he's down by 3 points, he comes up by 5.
somehow he's like, oh yeah, y'all didn't know I had this secret trade with a secret partner.
Favorite scene when he's like, I need to see Doctor Strange, and they're torturing him, right, on a side note.
Towards the end,
and they finally give in, right?
Yes,
they finally give in, and he comes in, he's like, I'm here, and he's like, I have use for you. The same thing he says to every single person that he recruits on his team.
Yes,
it was so good, bro.
Yeah. There's a poetic justice in the end, where like he does use everybody, right?
Everybody, bro.
Like every time you think he's locked against the corner, we're like, oh, there's no way he gets out of this one. Yeah. He's like, oh no, hold my beer, I got it. It's like, I got it. Yeah. You know, he for some reason makes a trade within the trade on top of a trade.
Yeah.
And then
somehow
they're all trades that nobody can deny, so they have to do them. And that's how he gets out of whatever trouble he's in. Like he goes to jail at least 4 throughout the series, and somehow he always comes out without a scratch.
Dude,
like,
breaks so many laws, bro. Like the entire government is after you, and somehow we are okay, and they let him go at the end of it.
That's what, when the king has you, there's no way nobody else survives, and somehow this man leaves. You know, he did get beat up, but he's like, oh, we have to let him go.
When he tells the secretary of the crown, he's like, and you're gonna let me go right now because the East India Company is gonna drop all their charges. And he's like, how do you know? The Ravens just told me. I was like,
yo, he has to keep the mystique. He has to make sure that everybody believes that he's a sorcerer or something. You know.
Yeah. Even though he had master plans behind the background.
Oh, nobody knows, man. That man had it all planned out.
But crazy. Remember Doctor Strange just taking out all these, like setting him up to get like basically ambushed. The guy that killed Winter, right? Remember the Horde gets her revenge. They kill the guy. He's like, these basically killed your daughter. And he like shoots
fat
him.
assistant.
Yeah, the fat assistant guy, and then the skinny guy that they killed at the docks, where he's like, Strange sends his regards, and just fucking blah.
So you think that like plan, like Strange did send him to kill?
Yeah, I think that was part of the deal. I honestly think that Delaney was like, this is I'm gonna give you this, but for me to get this, all these people have to pay. They have to die. They got to go. It's part of the deal. And you got to give me a ship, son.
Dang. Wow, that man really did have great plans. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, kill them all, baby. Take them off the board.
Yo, this is a great show, man.
Yeah, it was, bro. It was.
I want to say that I'm so I want to say, like, yeah, it was a dope show. I really enjoyed it, and I gotta definitely recommend as much people as I can to this, because this is a great show.
Yeah, it was dope. I loved it too, man. Definitely, for sure, one of the hidden gems that I have, I think, in the library, man. Because not a lot of people talk about this show, man. Not a lot of people know that Tom Hardy did this show. At least not that I know of.
I know you would have thought that, this is the selling point. Is like, yo, Tom Hardy, Taboo, you gotta watch it. Yeah. But no, definitely, great show to watch. And once you see it, you'll know why. It has so much rich context, and it makes you think a lot, so you definitely gotta have a good watch whenever you do decide to watch it. But any last thoughts on the show?
Bro, overall, man, I enjoyed the journey, basically. To be honest, man, I hope that we really get a season 2, man. Like, fuck, it was so fucking good, man. And
I would hate to see it canceled for reason, man. I know that this man, like, he's super busy. He wasn't like as popular as he was when the show came out. But it's such a good story, and I think there's like 8 parts to it. Like there's a like this is like off a written story of some
based off a book.
Yeah, or some kind of written account. And I think that they got to keep it going, man. Like even if it's a different person, bro, I don't care. But the story is so good. I would love to see it keep going, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it would work without Tom Hardy.
You think Tom Hardy makes the whole show happen?
Tom Hardy
basically?
carries this show, man. It's like without Tom Hardy, I don't think it would be as entertaining.
Yeah,
that man is a great actor.
He's a good actor. Fair enough.
Great actor, man.
I'll give you that.
But yeah, any change thoughts on your rating?
Nah, bro. 9 out of 10, baby. That show was fucking fire. I loved it, man. I have not a lot of big gripes with it. The only thing that I didn't like about it, I'll give you the weaknesses of it. The only thing that I didn't like about it, right, was we didn't get to see any back scenes when everybody was younger and information on what happened on the ship, what happened when he was in Africa. And the only other thing that I don't like is that the sister, we were left with so much ambiguity, but maybe that was to set it up for the following season. And also that he has some extra master plan at the end where he's like, nah, we're Americans, bro. We about to go sell gunpowder to Atticus at the end. And you're just like, this man had another plan the whole time.
Well, yes, you always got to leave like some hook in order for people to be interested on the second season. So yes,
it's not a bad problem.
There are little plot holes that need to be answered, but nah, that's just build up for the next season. Season 1 alone, great season. So before season 2 comes up, y'all gotta watch it. But yeah, I think that's it for our episode today. What you think?
Oh yeah, it's great, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So once again, anybody out there listening, follow us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook if you want.
Everywhere, baby.
Yo, give us a shout out.
Yo, subscribe, please.
And
please
follow
subscribe on Spotify.
Everything, man. Give us a follow. We'll let you know as soon as the new episodes comes out. And just be on alert, and also give us some suggestions, man. Yeah. Anything that you think is review worthy, and some hidden gems that people don't normally talk about, but you want people to break down. Just give us a comment, and we'll see we check it out.
Hell yeah! Thank you, everybody.
All right, so this has been the Binge Hunters Podcast, and that is it for today.
Woo-hoo.